Welcome to a brand new video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day whatever you're doing. So yes, as you see by today's title and thumbnail, we are back with another Premier League prediction. That is right, today I am predicting Premier League Game Week 7. In my last prediction video, your boy got 2 correct scores. That is right, so I'm pretty happy with that. But anyway, before I get started with today's video, please
they ask you how you are, you just want to say that you're fine. You're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I'm talking a bit like through my nose, you know why. But yeah, man, oh man, last night's sleep was terrible. I'm a bit tired today, but the grind does not stop. I'm here doing this video for you guys to enjoy. So if you like this video, guys, hit that like button, subscribe if not already, and without further ado, let's predict the Game Week 7 predictions. Look at this, man, it's so good. I put cream on it, I've tried to pop it. In this Game Week 7, guys, there are 11 games being played. That is right, there are 11 games being played this week, so I'll get on to that in a moment. But yes, first game kicking us off on a Saturday afternoon at 12:30. It's Aston Villa versus Brighton. That is right, Aston Villa beat Chelsea 1-0 last week. A fantastic win for the Emirates and the lads. Villa are truly having a good season already. They're up against the Zerbi's Brighton. That is right, Brighton are on a roll right now. They beat Bournemouth 3-1 last week as well, so both of these teams are on a winning streak. That is right. This game, it is 3rd versus 6th. Like, there are only 3 points between these two sides, so this game will be a fantastic game to watch on a Saturday afternoon. So yeah, man, both of these teams are flying right now. So yes, and guys, I'm expecting a very good game between these two sides. Emirates versus the Zerbi, Aston Villa versus Brighton. Who's going to win? This game right here was really hard to predict, but I just believe this team will have the slight edge. That is right, guys. I've got Brighton to beat Aston Villa a very close 2-1. Our next game is Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Bournemouth lost 3-1 to Brighton last week, while Arsenal drew to Spurs. That is right. Bournemouth are in 17th place, guys. They've drawn 3, lost 3, so they have not won a game yet this season. And oh boy, this game won't get any easier for them. They're up against a very informed Arsenal. Okay, they drew to Spurs last week. Fantastic game, actually, fantastic game. And during that game though, against Spurs, Declan Rice got injured at half time, so he had to go off. So if they lose Declan Rice for a few games or a few weeks, it could really hurt them. Because say, Declan Rice, man, I've watched him recently for Arsenal, and he is literally everywhere on that pitch, breaking up the play. He's such a good player, man. They're up against a really poor Bournemouth side right now. They have not won a game all season, 6 games in. Can this game be the game? I don't think so, guys. That is why I've got Arsenal to beat Bournemouth 2-0. Our next game is Everton versus Luton. That is right, Everton with a fantastic win away from home against Brentford. A fantastic win. They beat a very informed Brentford side, so fair play to Everton right there. Sean Dyche, has he finally got the team playing to how he wants to play? They won yesterday in the cup yesterday, so they're through to the next round as well. So they've won 2 on the trot right now. So can Everton finally find some form to compete with the top half of the table? We shall find out. But yes, man, they are looking a slight bit better. They're up against a very poor Luton side. That is right. But I say poor, they drew to Wolves 1-0 at the weekend to get their first point on the board, guys. And I will say it right now, I don't care what you guys say watching this video right now, I think Luton are probably one of the worst sides to ever grace the Premier League. That is right, guys. They lost to Exeter 1-0 in the cup a few days ago, and they're out in the 3rd round, man. And yeah, they've got 1 point out of 6 games, 5 games, whatever. And yeah, man, fair play to them to getting promoted, but they are finding it really tough right now. But the Premier League is a very long season, so can they get some wins? Let me know down below in the comments if you believe they will. But Luton right now are playing a very good Everton side, because I say Everton will have a bit of confidence right now. So that's why I've got Everton, guys, to beat Luton. A very close game though, 1-0. Our next game is Man United versus Crystal Palace, guys. That is right, these two sides played on Tuesday night in the cup, and Man United beat Palace 3-0. So, Palace will want some revenge this week. But anyway, before I get on to Palace, Man United, guys, they beat Burnley. A very close 1-0 at the weekend. And, yeah, man, it's still only 1-0, okay? And, I still believe they've got a bit of work to do. Ten Hag needs to sit the players down individually, one by one, and talk through his plans and, you know, things like that. Try and get the players back on board. Jadon Sancho has officially deactivated his social accounts, and apparently he was up all night at 3 AM playing the PlayStation. So Sancho, man, he has truly lost Ten Hag's trust, and that is part of the problem for Man United this season. There's too many players thinking they are bigger than the club. So yes, can Man United finally come back now and play to their strengths? So they beat Palace 3-0 in the cup. They're up against Palace this weekend in the Premier League. So Palace, guys, they drew 0-0 to Fulham last week. A fantastic point for them right there. But they're also, like Man United, having trouble scoring goals. They say their biggest mistake this season in the transfer window was signing no strikers, okay? Yeah, that will probably come back to haunt them eventually. But overall, though, so far, they have not had a bad season at all. They are currently sat in 10th place. So you know what? It's not too bad after all. So they've not scored many goals, but they seem to get them results. So that is all you can ask for from a team. I believe Palace will want some revenge this week after losing 3-0 to them in the cup. So that is why, guys, I've got this game to end as a draw. That is why I got Man United versus Palace to end as a 2-2 draw. Our next game, I've never seen this one coming, okay? It is Newcastle versus Burnley, okay? Newcastle beat Sheffield a whooping 8-0, okay? And that still leaves my boys Leicester joint record on a 9-0 win. So Leicester's record still stands, which I'm happy about. But anyway, they smashed Sheffield United at the weekend. And by the way, every goal was a different scorer. That is very unusual, okay? Very unusual. So yeah, I watched the highlights on that game, and oh boy, they truly destroyed Sheffield, man. They came out attacking every single time. And also, yes, in the cup yesterday against Man City, they beat Man City 1-0 in the cup to knock them out of the round 3 in the cup. So fair play to Newcastle, man. They have truly finding their form. I believe that draw against AC Milan last week in the Champions League really boost their confidence. So yeah, man, they're up against a very poor Burnley side, okay? This is probably another team that are one of the worst teams to ever come up from the Premier League, guys. All 3 bottom teams came up last season and they've all got 1 point each. But anyway, they're up against Burnley, guys, who lost 1-0 to Man United. But they won in the cup, so puts them to round 4. So can that win in the cup give them a bit of confidence? It will. But Eddie Howe's Newcastle are looking very good. One of their summer signings, Harvey Barnes, will be out for a few months with a really unusual foot injury. And yeah, that won't hurt them too much. I could say Barnes don't really start for Newcastle, so that won't really hurt them too much. But anyway, I believe Newcastle will come out again like they did against Sheffield and win this game fairly easy. That is why I've got Newcastle, guys, to beat Burnley an easy 3-0. Our next game is West Ham versus Sheffield United. That is right, guys. West Ham lost 3-1 to Liverpool at the weekend, okay? But West Ham will be okay, guys, this week, trust me. They're up against a very poor Sheffield side. This is another team, guys, who came up this season. Luton, Burnley and Sheffield. All of these 3 teams I mentioned right there are probably one of the worst teams I've seen in the Premier League for a very long time, okay? So yes then, Sheffield are coming off from an 8-0 loss against Newcastle at the weekend, and I believe, guys, if they get hammered or if they lose like a 1-0 this weekend against West Ham, I believe Paul Heckingbottom will be sacked. That is right. There's only so many losses you can have until the chairman decides to sack you, okay? And that 8-0 loss against Newcastle at the weekend will really be playing in the back of their minds. And yeah, man, losing 8-0 is always hard to come back from. And they're up against a very informed West Ham. Yes, West Ham lost 3-1 to Liverpool, but obviously it's Liverpool, guys. You know, Liverpool, one of the best teams in the league, and West Ham are looking good. So, you know, this game could end one way, and that is Paul Heckingbottom being sacked. So guys, just on that alone, and obviously the way Sheffield are right now, I believe West Ham will win this game. That is right, guys. I've got West Ham to beat Sheffield a very easy 2-0. Our next game, guys, it is Wolves versus Man City. That is right. Wolves drew to Luton 1-0, and that's quite a poor point considering how Luton have been this season. Okay, they also lost in the cup on Tuesday night against Ipswich 3-2. So that's how I will also play in the back of their minds. Okay, and yeah, Wolves this season, man. Wolves play some good football, guys. Wolves play some good football. Okay, but the only criticism is they just can't score, guys. Wolves haven't got a world-class striker in the Premier League, and when you don't have a world-class striker in the Premier League, it's always going to be hard to score goals. Okay, and yeah, they need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net, and that was Raul Jimenez. But obviously, due to his injury a few years back, that really, you know, that really set his confidence down. So I see why they got rid of him. Wolves need to find a permanent striker if they want to stay in the Premier League. They're up against Man City, okay, who beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 in the Premier League last week, but lost 1-0 in the cup to Newcastle last night. So yeah, man, getting knocked out in the third round, Man City. I never thought I'd see that coming, but anyway, they've got world-class players, man. Say De Bruyne's been out, and he's still out now, and they've got people to replace De Bruyne, guys. You know, they've got Foden, they've got Grealish, they've got Doku, he looks very good indeed, and Alvarez. They've got a fantastic side, okay, and yeah, that's all I can say about Man City. I believe they will win this game by an easy margin. I've got Man City, guys, to beat Wolves an easy 3-0. Our next game, it is Spurs versus Liverpool. This will be game of the weekend for me. Spurs drew 2-2 at the weekend to Arsenal, okay? And oh boy, when Spurs lost Kane, I thought Son might fail. But since they've sold Kane, they've brought in Maddison, guys. And Son and Maddison have a very good partnership, guys. Son and Maddison have a fantastic partnership, and it looks like Son and Maddison are enjoying each other's company. That is right, man. Maddison set both of Son's goals up at the weekend. 2 very fantastic assists, okay, and it's turned out to be a brilliant signing for Spurs. I told you guys at the start of the season, Spurs have missed someone like Maddison who can create chances, okay, and if Kane stayed this season, they'll be a very dominant force indeed. But obviously losing Kane, they've got Brennan Johnson, who's nowhere near as good as Kane, obviously. They've got Son, who's, you know, Son is world class, but he's getting on a bit now, okay. But for now, they can enjoy some very success. Maddison and Son are enjoying playing together. Bissouma is looking a completely different player now, so fair play to Bissouma out there. And yeah, overall, they are looking fantastic. They're up against Liverpool, guys, who beat West Ham 3-1. Fantastic win for Liverpool right there. They also beat Leicester 3-1 in the cup last night as well. So my boys Leicester. But anyway, this game will be a fantastic game to watch. Salah is back to scoring goals. You've got Salah slides it. He's one for the future, guys. Trust me. I believe Liverpool need to make their side around Szoboszlai. He looks absolutely brilliant, man, and I believe he's one of their star players right now because he works half the team, he knows how to run and things like that, and I believe they need to work around him now because he's definitely going to be one of their best players of all time. Trust me when I say that. But anyway, this game will be a fantastic game to watch, and I took a bit of time out to sort of predict this one. Got this game to end as a very good draw. That is why I got this game, guys, to end as a 2-2 draw. Our next game, guys, is Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Both of these teams lost at the weekend. Forest lost 2-0 to the champions Man City, so no harm in that. I don't think they'll get relegated this season, but I think they'll find it tough, okay. But I don't know, it's still early days, man. I just can't. Fair play for them last year staying up, but I'm hoping this year they get relegated. But anyway, guys, they're up against Brentford, okay, who lost 3-1 to Everton, so that's quite a poor loss considering Everton's form. That's a very poor loss for Brentford right there. Brentford will have what it takes to bounce back and try and get revenge the week after, because Brentford is such a good camp. They've got a great manager, they've got a great staff, they've got great players who want to win. But unfortunately though, one of their main players, Nico Henry, is out with an ACL injury, and he was about to be called up apparently to the England squad in the next international break. So very unfortunate for Nico Henry right there. Trust me, I know what it's like for an ACL injury, guys. Because say, if you watched my documentary last month, I just had my operation on my ACL, and trust me, it is such a horrible process to go through. The waiting game, the sitting around, can't walk properly and things like that. So yeah, very unfortunate for Nico Henry because he was about to be called up to Southgate's squad. But anyway, I believe Brentford, guys, will come out this weekend and win. That is why I got Brentford, guys, to beat Nottingham Forest a very close 2-1. Our next game is Fulham versus Chelsea, man. Fulham drew 0-0 to Palace at the weekend. A fantastic point indeed. And they also won in the Cup last night as well. So Fulham are looking a bit better now. We'll be okay this season, I think. So I did put them to get relegated this season, but I believe they'll be okay this season. And yeah, if they keep performing like they did against Palace and in the Cup yesterday, they should be fine. And Marco Silva, man, he is a very top manager and he will want the best out of the players. So having a top manager like him, it's always going to be hard to be relegated, okay? So yeah, fair play to Fulham right there. They're up against a very poor Chelsea side. That is right, guys. Chelsea have 5 points, okay, in the first 6 games. That is right, man. Did you know Leicester have scored more Premier League goals in 2023 than Chelsea have already this season? That is right, guys. Leicester got relegated in May this year, okay, and somehow they are still leading Chelsea by scoring more goals in the Premier League, even though they're not in the Premier League anymore. So that is how poor Chelsea are. And also, I've seen online that Pochettino sort of called out the chairman, saying buying success is not the way to go. So apparently Pochettino has also called out the chairman for buying success, basically, but it's not worked, has it? So there you go. They could lose a few players, guys. That Mudryk, he's been a waste of time at Chelsea. They bought him for like £80 million, or something like that. He's definitely a waste of time. That's Saido from Brighton. He should have stayed at Brighton. Enzo Fernandez don't look the part now, does he? Either, you know, they got all these world-class players, guys, but they just don't seem to look world-class. So there we go. But anyway, guys, I'll shock you with this scoreline. I've got Fulham. That is why I got Fulham to beat Chelsea, guys. That is why I got Fulham to beat Chelsea. I can't believe I'm saying that. A very close 1-0. That is all the games, guys, being played this week. 10 games, but we have an extra game in hand. That is why it's Luton versus Burnley, guys. This game got cancelled at the start of the season, obviously, because Luton's stadium was not ready. So that's why they're replaying this game this week. Both of these teams came up last season, okay? And both of these teams have truly been shocking in the Premier League already this season. And this game is literally a big game for these two sides, okay? Both of these teams need to win, okay? So if one of these teams win, hopefully get out of the relegation zone. So, you know, that's how big this game is, okay? I do have Burnley to beat Luton. That is right, guys. I've got Burnley to beat Luton. A very close 2-1. Which should hopefully, if they win their next game, if they win their other game this weekend, that will take them out of the relegation zone. So, yeah, this game is everything for these two sides. They need to win this game to have a chance of getting out the bottom 3. And there we go, guys. That is my Game Week 7 predictions, man. There's 11 games being played this week, so a bit of a treat for all of us right there, okay? So, agree with any of my decisions, guys, let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for watching this video, guys. See you next week. Good, and good night.